What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy and pop culture guy. I don't know, I'm just your guy, all right? So yeah, if you haven't noticed, there's been a delay, a void of episodes. Kind of explained it in my last episode that I recorded before this mini hiatus that, hey, I'm going to be busy at work, carpooling, that too. Normally I would do episodes while driving, but I got carpool passengers, and it's a little weird and trying to not make them, but like if I tried recording in the car while other people were in the car, they, one, might not appreciate it, and two, well, you know, I just might not have their consent to be doing that. I don't want to put anyone on the podcast that doesn't want to be a part of it. Also, it's really hard to record multiple people in the vehicle with the mic setup that I currently have. Anyway, I finally found some free time to sit down and record just something a little quick. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And really, it's only just 3 little things, and then we're done. So with that being said, let's get on with the show. So up first is news kind of interested about. Apparently, Adam Sandler is in the works for a Happy Gilmore 2. Supposedly a script is being written and worked on, and it's kind of been not shopped around, but people have taken a look at it. God, who's the guy that plays Shooter McGavin? I cannot remember the actor's name, and I feel horrible for that. But the actor who plays Shooter McGavin said in an interview that he's seen it, and this was to Variety magazine, that he's seen it. And so it looks like it's really in the works. And I mean, I love the older Adam Sandler movies a lot, like the ones that I grew up on. I think they're hilarious. Stupid, don't get me wrong, but also very hilarious. And so I would love to see stuff like this, maybe like a Big Daddy, maybe. Well, no, I don't know if Big Daddy would, because what would you do? I guess the adopted son becomes older now, but no, because Adam Sandler now becomes a good dad. And so you can't really do that one, or in my mind, you can't do that one. But maybe like Billy Madison or something, or I don't know. You can either do remakes, reboots of these types of movies, or like sequels to them. But I think Happy Gilmore might be kind of funny in a way, just because like the first movie is just ridiculous and hilarious at the same time. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty neat news. Recently, I haven't been a huge fan of recent Adam Sandler movies. Like they're just, I don't know. They just didn't really speak to me. So I never was like, like I need to go see that. Or like, I've never been like, oh, I really hated that. I've just not had a strong opinion about the recent Adam Sandler stuff. And so, but this news kind of has me excited. So I'm actually pretty interested in like what could potentially happen and like where it could go. I said potentially, really, really weird. Other news, looks like we're getting a Pirates of the Caribbean reboot with the 6th movie. I forgot there was even 5 movies in this franchise. This is like becoming the Fast and the Furious with just a lot more problems. I don't know. But apparently they're supposed to be doing a reboot, and I put that in dick finger quotes for you guys if you can't see, because you know you're listening to the show, not watching it. And I'm not sure how a reboot would work in a sense like this. I mean, just start over, I guess, with a new generation with new actors. I don't know, but I guess by doing a reboot of sorts, now you're not dependent on previous actors. You can start anew, which just start over. Just start with a whole new thing. Don't waste anyone's time. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of strange, funny, weird. But like Pirates of the Caribbean is one of those other shows where I really loved like the first two movies, or well, really, I just really loved the first movie, and I was, like entertained with the next two after that. But like, has it been far enough beyond? Hasn't been as long as Happy Gilmore, but has it been far enough for the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? Caribbean. How do you say it? Has it been far enough from those movies? Are we far enough removed where doing a reboot, a remake, makes sense? I don't know if any reboot or remake makes sense, but has enough time passed where it's okay. Like, all right, like new audience, like, what is it? Bad News Bears. Like the original was so long ago that I didn't recognize or realize that the reboot or the newer one, which now it's been how many years since the newer one's come out, was a remake. Or The Longest Yard. Now, I mean, the reason why I knew The Longest Yard was a remake was because everyone online was talking about how it was a remake, but I had no idea. I never heard of the original movie because I was young. I was younger, and I didn't watch older movies growing up like that. So are we now in a time where I'm the old guy now, but like the younger people in their early 20s and early to mid 20s haven't heard of some of these movies? I can't even think of when Pirates of the Caribbean came out. It's not like I have a smartphone right in front of my face. Let's see. Pirates of the Caribbean film series. Pirates of the Caribbean 1 came out in 2003, which means people who were born that year, or even in the year 2000, because you probably weren't really old enough to watch it. You might have caught it on like a streaming service or as it's being replayed. But I think about movies that were in the late 80s, early 90s that some I vaguely have a memory of, but that's only because I watched them after the fact. But most of the movies from those times, I don't remember. I was an infant. So someone who is 24, because we're in the year 2024, may have never seen this movie or never really heard much about it. I almost doubt it because it's a Disney property and, it's going to be everywhere. But like, I feel like you're at a point now where you're over 20 years removed from the first movie. I think it's possible, man. I think you could reboot the Pirates of the Caribbean and not get away with it, but like it be relevant to a new generation of people. That's 20 years. Oh my God, that's 20 years. So to show some of my age or some of my youth, depending on how old you are when I say this comment, 2003 is when I entered high school. So I started high school as a freshman in 2003, which for me still feels like it was only like maybe 10 years ago. Like I feel like my 10-year reunion just happened. I'm coming up in like the next 3 years on my 20-year like high school reunion, which wow. I didn't, and funny, I never went to my 10-year reunion. At the time we were living not across the state, but not very close to home. And honestly, from the people that I saw that were going at the time, I just wasn't very close with. And it was kind of like in this weird venue that you needed to pay for. And at the time I didn't have a lot of extra cash. So I was like, ew, gross. Like, I'm not going to do all that crap just to see people that may or may not have remembered me or things like that. Now, as I've gotten a bit older, I regret it. I think it would have been good to see some of those people because I know I knew a lot of people in high school. So like me thinking, oh, I'm not going to know anyone there and this and that. It's kind of my own, I guess, insecurities. And I've grown since then, people. I have matured not really. I'm just lonely and maybe I can make friends. Maybe I'll find out who's still living in my hometown and it'll be great. We can get together and start hanging out and I can have real friends again. Not that I'm not friends with my wife or my son, but my wife doesn't do guy things. Well, she does some guy things, but doesn't do a lot of guy things. And RJ's not old enough to drink, so Anyway, moving on. This bit of nerd news tickles me so much. So, the director of Tekken, not the movie, but like the video game director for Tekken, is baffled why so many people, specifically Americans, want Waffle House as a stage in Tekken 8. And I'm so tickled because, one, as an American and as a Southern American, I know the lore of Waffle House and the epic battles that have taken place within it and some of the viral videos. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is the chair that gets thrown and the worker who just straight up just stalls it in the air with her forearm, just like, not today, like Captain America's shield with the metal chair to her forearm. And you could hear the Avengers music playing in like the back of your mind. Like, that was intense and crazy. But like, we always like, you hear stories like, man, I was at the Waffle House and like a crackhead showed up and started biting people, like all kinds of crazy stuff, and like the fights. Because let's face it, how many people are honestly going to the Waffle House for a family fun time? No, you're either so hammered from just the most extreme night of drinking, or you're someone living in their mid 30s who believes that they're young and has just a couple of beers, and now you're regretting everything and you need something to soak up the alcohol in your stomach, or else you're probably going to die. So like, those are the type of people that show up to Waffle House, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't think they ever close. In fact, it's a thing where if you ever see a Waffle House start to board their windows, that means it's going to be a really bad hurricane. Doesn't matter what the weather says, you listen to what the Waffle House say, because the Waffle House is the best Doppler radar that we have when it comes to determining hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico. So funny. But it just tickles me that people have been like screaming for this and telling them you should add this, and him being completely confused, because I understand it. If you're not from the United States and you're not online all the time, you might have no clue, one, what a Waffle House even is, but why people would even just mention it for your fighting game. Like, I mean, come on, let's face it. Tekken is probably one of, if not one of the most popular fighting games out there. And to have a level like Waffle House on it would be insane. And like, I'm trying to think of what other places would make good levels in Tekken. What was it? Was it Mississippi or Louisiana? The boat ramp where the people were fighting against like the boat captain crew and stuff, and then the plastic chair gets thrown in there. Like, that could be a level. I used to be an umpire, like a softball field, a youth softball field could be a level, and you have just angry parents in the background screaming at you, but they can't, words can no longer satisfy them. They lust for blood, and so they jump the fence, and now you have to fight. It could be like one of those mini, like, what was it, Street Fighter had like the mini level where you had to beat up the car. This could be the level where you have to fight off angry parents at like an 8 and under softball tournament, because those are the most irrational and angry people I have ever met. I'm sorry to tell you this. Your kid is 8 right now. There's no way to tell if he or she is going to go pro. And even if you thought they could, there's so many things that could go wrong. Your kid's not a professional. Trust me. You're in the league in this hometown, you're done. I don't know. There's maybe like 4 people from my hometown who have gone off to do professional Olympic events, like professional and or Olympic events. That's it. Maybe an art person. I don't know. We have one dude currently that's really popular right now, but I think if I say who it is, it will give away my location. And I promise my wife I would never do that. Maybe one day, when my family can my son's old enough to defend for himself. Anyway, I thought it was funny, man. I don't know of any other locations that would be crazy enough. I mean, you can have Walmart on a Black Friday. That's like a violent place to be. I mean, I guess in recent years, it's definitely less violent now that most of your Black Friday shopping is done online or any other day other than Friday. Like they extend their Black Friday deals to like the Monday before. So you're getting these deals all week long. So, you spread out the craziness. It's not as crazy. Maybe under an overpass in Houston. Something. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I spaced out trying to think about this. There was one more news that I definitely wanted to cover, only because crazy people, right? Oh, so Marvel announced the casting for the Silver Surfer. That's what I wanted to say. And they are going with, as soon as I find her name, yes, I did say her. So I know most people who think of the Silver Surfer without knowing too much, what I'm trying to say, like too much about the character, probably know that the Silver Surfer is typically a man. And so the fact that Marvel is going with a woman, now I haven't seen anything to the contrary, but we know how people get on the internet when you quote unquote swap genders needlessly. Here's the thing though. In another Marvel universe, the Silver Surfer is a woman. And also, I'm pretty sure in the 616, the Silver Surfer there has been a woman as the Silver Surfer in the 616 universe. Oh, there's her name, Julia Gardner. She's joining the cast of the Fantastic Four as Shala Ball, and that's a version of the Silver Surfer. I can't remember if it's from the Ultimate Universe or what, but Shala Ball is a version of the Silver Surfer, which, shove it, all right? And it seems like, for all intents and purposes, the Fantastic Four movie that Marvel has planned might be taking place in a different multiverse universe going forward. And we already have the precedent that other multiverse, like the multiverse exists within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we know there are other universes out there. Hell, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness showed us that. Loki has shown us that. Ant-Man Quantumania has shown us that. So there we have the precedent set where, yes, we can have a female Silver Surfer and it's cool because this is from a different universe. It also kind of helps explain why, the Fantastic Four haven't made an appearance in the current set of movies in the 616 or the normal Marvel Cinematic Universe, is because they're from an alternate timeline or a different universe. Same with the X-Men. And it looks like Deadpool is going to be the bridge between the Marvel, I guess it's just the 616. I'm pretty sure Marvel's come out and said the movie Cinematic Universe is the 616, whether or not we agree with that. But so like we're all building to, and we know this because Marvel's announced this, that we're building to Secret Wars. Secret Wars, of course, being the comic event where all of the like universes are dying, different strands of the multiverse are dying because their incursions are happening where they're merging together, and either they're both being wiped out or one universe destroys the other universe to survive another day. And there was talk of that in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness when he goes and sees the Illuminati, which is made up of Mr. Fantastic. I believe was there a Black Panther? No, there was a Captain Marvel. There was Captain Britain. Who else was there? And I know Professor Xavier for sure. And God, I am blanking on who the other person was. Well, they did have a Doctor Strange. I thought it was a Black Panther, but maybe I'm wrong. Anywho, so like all the stage has technically been set with the Marvel movies. Maybe not very well, but the stage has been set. So I'm excited to see how this all plays out, how the Fantastic Four will tie in to the main Marvel Cinematic Universe, along with the X-Men and things like that. And we kind of, if you haven't seen the newest Captain Marvel movie, The Marvels, we do get a spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, so cover your ears for the next 10 seconds. But we do get a cameo from the Beast, and at the end when one of the Marvel characters gets put in their dimension, in a different dimension. So it's gonna happen, right? I don't know. I'm excited about it. I was just, when I saw the news, it's kind of upsetting to me now that I look back on it. But when I first saw the news that they were going with this casting, and going with Julia Gardner as Shala Ball, a female version of the Silver Surfer, it's kind of disappointing that my first thought was, oh no, like people are going to be upset with this. But as I'm looking at the comments, man, a lot of people liked Shala Ball as a Silver Surfer, and a lot of people are really behind this casting and think that she's a really great actress. I mean, I don't have any reason to believe she's not a great actress, but I'm seeing a lot of positives coming this way. So has me excited. Maybe it's because the Fantastic Four fans are better people. I don't know. Maybe it's just because the neckbeards are asleep and just haven't come to complain about it yet. Who knows? With that being said, though, that's all I have to talk about tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for a couple of minutes. I know we haven't talked in a while. It's been a while, I know, but hopefully I get another free moment sometime in the next week and I can record another podcast for you guys. And maybe the hard part is being able to focus on news stories when I'm working an outage at my plant, because I'm working 12 hours a day, coming home, eat, sleep, and repeat for 4 days straight. I get 1 day off to try to fit in all the errands that I could not run in the last 4 days before I have to go back for another 4 days. So I work 4 days, I'm off 1 day. I work 4 days, I'm off 1 day. And the 1 day, not only am I trying to cram all the errands in, I'm trying to cram in all the family time and everything. So that's why it's so hard to put out episodes consistently during an outage for myself, because I try to, if I can do it in the car, I'll try to do it in the car, but I don't have time. Like, that's the only thing. Like, in my downtime, I just want to unwind, and what little downtime I have, and it's just hard to be able to do research on articles and stuff. Not like I do a lot of it, but to research articles to bring to you guys for the podcast. So it's kind of unfair to y'all to just half-ass everything, and I don't want to do that. And it's unfair to my family and stuff to just blow them off so I can do podcast stuff, because look, family comes first. That's just how I've wanted to always treat the podcast, is family should always come first. So with that being said, it's time to go spend time with my family. So thank you guys for listening to the show this week. We will see you guys sometime in the near future, and with another episode. Bry-Fy out.